On any airplane that has the retracts in the wings, like this P-47, when you take the wing off to transport the plane or do something to it, it doesn't roll anymore. All you've got left is a big hole in the fuselage that pretty much sucks at anything but holding a wing. Then I noticed some landing gear that I'd saved after I crashed the plane. Now I had a good use for it. I just made a piece that goes where the wing used to be, only this has wheels on it. And yes, the carbon fiber is overkill, but this is the one I had laying around because it's the only thing that survived the crash. And I know somebody's going to ask, so I'm going to show you how I made this. First I had to make a piece in which I could put some doweling so it goes into the holes without a lot of fighting. And this just might be easier than you think. Trying to measure hole center sucks, so I measure from the edge of this hole to this edge of this hole. If the holes are the same size, that measurement works out to be exactly what measuring the centers would have. Only this is a ton easier. And now I can use that distance to mark out the exact center of the holes for drilling. These dowels were almost perfect the first time around. I did have to sand on the edges a little bit to get it to slip in. That was it. Next I found a piece of wood that'd go from that block with the dowels in it back to the wing support where you put the wing bolts. Once I was sure of that length, I screwed and glued the block with the dowels to it to the front of that piece. We're not looking for beauty or high tech here. We just want something that works. And it turns out that it's cheap and easy too. I didn't want to use the blind nuts that hold the wing bolts, so I put a separate 1/4-20 blind nut in the middle. These are just temporary wheels to hold the nose of the plane off of the ground, so they don't need 2 bolts. One in the middle will do just fine. And this is the complicated part. It's a 1/4-20 shaft with a knob on it. You can get these at a lot of hardware stores. I got this one from Rockford Woodworking. Again, nothing fancy, it just works really well. And that's all there is to it. I left out screwing the wheels on because I figured you could probably handle that. I like it when such a simple little gadget solves a really annoying problem. This little thing will make a lot of airplanes easier to deal with. I know somebody's going to make one of these out of some really beautiful wood and do some fancy woodworking and everything, but it won't work any better than this one. I've got other things to do, like finish this warbird. And now the warbird's going to be a lot easier to move around the shop or just to set it down somewhere. And I'm thinking I can use this to start the new motor and get some time on that before I take it out and put the wing on it. This set of wheels also makes it a lot easier to carry a fuselage like this around in a trailer safely. I'd be really disenchanted with this whole deal if my warbird got dinged up before I ever got it to the airfield.